Hello guys, and welcome back to yet another video. Today, as I say, it is a big one as we try to predict every promotion and relegation in the English football pyramid between the Premier League and the National League. Like I say, it's a very tricky video to do. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to get right. We're doing this in the October international break, so take this with a pinch of salt. Things might change, of course, but let's give it a go. Let's try and use some logic, but let's also go with a bit of fun as well. Before we get into this video, please make sure you've hit the like button. We'll go for 2,000. It does just take 2 seconds to hit that like button, and while you're there, please make sure as well that you have subscribed. Once again, that takes 2 seconds and it's massively appreciated. You can help us push to 79,000 subscribers next. Like I say, before we get into this prediction, please don't get upset and offended. Every football fan is entitled to different opinions, so if you disagree, that's fair enough. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Just respectfully tell me which teams you would have picked. Let's not get too angry or upset. I'm not relegating teams because I don't like them. I'm not just promoting teams because I prefer them to other teams. I'm trying to be as fair as I can. And like I say, let's have some fun. Let's get into this video. So then, as you can see, if we look at this tier list here, we have all of the Premier League, Championship, League One, League Two, and National League teams on it. And we're going to be doing predictions of promotions from the National League all the way up to relegation from the Premier League. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. So we're going to start with the 2 teams to be promoted from the National League, and this is difficult. You know, only 2 teams go up. I think it's such a hard division to get out of, but at the start of the season I predicted Barnet to win the league, and currently at the time of recording this video they are top of the league, so I'm going to stick with them. I think they've got the quality, I think they've got the manager for it, and Dean Brennan. I mean, he was going viral a few weeks ago about how he needed his fans to be behind him, and I'm sure that they are. He's been there since 2021. I think this season they're going up. Who's going up with them though? It's really difficult, and it could be anyone that sneaks into the playoffs on the final day that gets promoted to League Two. You've got a lot of quality in the likes of Forest Green Rovers, York City a 3rd, Gateshead a 4th, Rochdale a 5th, Oldham a 6th. There's a lot of old former Football League teams here, and Oldham Athletic, they're a great club, of course. They were in the Premier League. I'm going to go with a team I had a good feeling about at the start of the season, and that is York City. I like York City. I think there's a lot going for them. They've pulled out some good results so far this season. They've got plenty of goals in that team, and Adam Hinselwood is a good manager. And while I'm talking about York City, in a video I did a few weeks ago when I put each team into what league I think they belong in, I put York in the National League, and that was the only one really that I had some reservations that I should have changed it. I think they do belong in the Football League, and that's where I think they're going. They're going up in my prediction. So then, let's move on to League Two. I've promoted Barnet, I've promoted York City, but who am I relegating down to the National League? Well, I think I'm going to go with the current bottom 2. Now, don't get me wrong, it could be anyone. Looking down the bottom end of the League Two table, there's plenty of teams that are struggling this season, but looking at some of those teams that are struggling, I think Carlisle United are not bad enough to go down. I think they'll eventually get going. Swindon Town, Cheltenham, and even Bromley, who are down there at the moment, I think they might get over the line. But in my bottom 2, I'm going to go with Morecambe to go down. I did originally predict them to be in the bottom 2. I think I predicted them to finish bottom of League 2. They are currently bottom of League 2, and I will stick with that. I did not like the chaos there, but at the same time, with a touch of sympathy here, I wish them all the best. I like Derek Adams. I really hope they get it right, but they've not won yet. They have had some decent draws, but just a bit too much chaos potentially for them to get over the line. And then I will go with Accrington Stanley, who are currently in the bottom 3 with them. I think Accrington will probably finish 23rd, but Morecambe 24th, and that is my bottom 2 from League 2. Share your thoughts. Let's move on to the top end of League 2. Which 4 teams are going to get promoted? I think this is probably the most difficult bit of the video, because if you look at the top of the League 2 table right now, you will see Walsall, Gillingham, Barrow and Doncaster all on 19 points, with Notts County on 18, Port Vale on 18, and plenty of other teams not far behind them. It's so open, it's so close. anyone could get promoted. Heck, anyone that's currently mid-table might still go on to get promoted. Let's not forget what Doncaster did last season in League Two when they got on a good run and made it to the playoffs. Speaking of Doncaster, they're going to be one of my teams to get promoted. So let's move Doncaster up to the promotion category. I think they're going to be one of the teams to get promoted. I will go with Walsall, who are currently top. I know that a couple of weeks ago they lost 6-2 to Fleetwood at home, but League Two is that crazy that teams that get promoted can have those results, and I've been impressed on the whole otherwise. Speaking of Fleetwood, I could put them to get promoted. There's so many good teams, including Crewe. Chesterfield, I thought, would be good this season. They're currently mid-table. You've also got Bradford City around the playoffs. They're a big club, of course, but I'm going to go with Notts County as one of the teams. I know they've lost Jody Jones to injury, but they've still got McGoldrick, they've got Crowley, and when Jody Jones does come back from injury, I think he'll make a massive difference. He's such a good player for this level, so I think Notts County will go up. And then the final team I will go with, it could be Gillingham, it could be Barrow, but I'm going to go with Port Vale. I'm going to stick Port Vale up there. Maybe they are the team that win the League Two playoffs. It could be anyone, but Port Vale, I remember watching them win the League Two playoffs 2 years ago. Maybe they do it again. They've got great experience at this level. They are currently 7 games unbeaten coming into this video, so they're on a great run of form. Let's move to League One next. So I've put 4 teams up from League Two to League One. Which 4 teams are going down? This might seem really boring, but I think I'm pretty set on the current bottom 4. Now, at the start of this season, I predicted Burton, Shrewsbury, Crawley and Cambridge to go down. Let's start with Cambridge. I've not been too impressed with Cambridge. They are really struggling and they look rooted to the bottom, and unless they can get some results soon, it could become really impossible for them to get out, because remember, 4 go down, so you have to get up to 20th. I'm going to stick with Burton. I think Shrewsbury are a difficult one. I think Shrewsbury could stay up, given the experience they've got at surviving at this level, but they've not been great so far. They've had a couple of decent performances. They drew at Bolton, they drew with Rotherham, but on the whole, really struggling for wins. 1 win so far this season. And then finally, I think I will go with Crawley. Crawley I predicted to go down at the start of this season, and then after about 3 or 4 games I was starting to think my opinion might change. They had a good little start, but the form since the 4th game to now has been terrible, and on top of that they've lost Scott Lindsay, the manager. Could they still stay up? Of course they could, but everything at the moment is pointing towards a trend down the table. So that's my bottom 4 for League One. Let's move on to the promotion race, and this is really difficult. Of course, if you watch my channel, you will know that myself and Benjamin Bloom have been doing League One predictions this season, and I have said countless times that there's at least 15 teams that I would consider to be promotion candidates or playoff candidates. There is so many good teams that could go up from this division, but let's start with the obvious one. Birmingham City. I predicted them to win the league. They are currently top of the league. They did just lose to Charlton, but yeah, they're not going to be invincible all season. With the money they've spent, the players they've got, and the manager who seems to be proving himself, and that massive fan base, they've got more than enough to get the job done. Who's going up with them then? Now this is difficult. You've got Bolton, you've got Rotherham, you've got Blackpool, you've got Lincoln, you've got Wickham, you've got Mansfield, you've got Stockport, you've got Charlton, you've got Wigan, you've got Reading. You've got so many teams that could go up, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to stick Wrexham up there. Yeah, I'm going for it. I think I predicted Wrexham to finish 6th at the start of this season, so that is in the playoffs, and maybe that's how they will do it. And from what I've seen so far, I'm very impressed. They are carrying on this brilliant run, and if you look at how many points they've been scoring over the last 3 seasons, they always get this ridiculous amount of points. I think that could be them. If they capitalise on Huddersfield Town having a slow start and Rotherham having a slow start, maybe they will go up. Who's the team going up with them too? This is really difficult. I would love to say Lincoln City. I really think it could be Lincoln this season. Something's telling me Lincoln, but Charlton are very good. This is so difficult. Currently, Mansfield are third, and you've got Wickham, and you've got Stockport as well. But maybe over a 46-game season, the power of a relegated team might just rise up towards the top, and I'm talking about Huddersfield Town. I'm going to put them up there. I suppose right now, with them currently being outside the playoffs, it's a little bit of a gamble, but they've got the quality and they've got the manager to do it. I also think Barnsley could be up there. There's so many good teams this season, but that's my top three. Birmingham, Wrexham and Huddersfield. They're my three teams to get promoted. So let's move to the Championship. Which three teams are going to get relegated? This is potentially the hardest bit of the video. This is really difficult because currently in the bottom three, you've got three teams that I did not predict to be relegated at the start of the season, and the three teams I did predict to go down are currently doing quite well. Oh, this is really tough. Let's start with Portsmouth. Portsmouth I've backed quite a bit. I backed them at the start of the season to stay up. I've said that they've had some really difficult games. I've made a few excuses, I guess, and there has been some decent performances, but that 6-1 defeat to Stoke and then that draw with Oxford, is there enough there right now for me to think they're looking better than three other teams in this division? There's potential, but right now, going off the evidence we are seeing, I'm going to go with Portsmouth, and that breaks my heart. I really like Portsmouth, but as I say, I can't just relegate three teams that I want to go down. I have to just pick based on the evidence, and right now I'm looking at Portsmouth. I also think the slow start could put Cardiff City in trouble, but surely if they get the right manager, they've got more than enough to get out of the bottom three. Maybe, but maybe not. Let's go with Cardiff. Oh, I don't know if I see that happening, but I tell you what, I don't think QPR are going down. They're currently in the bottom three. I don't think they will. The teams that naturally will come to some people's heads are the teams that were favourites to go down at the start of the season. By that, I mean Oxford United, I mean Plymouth, I mean Derby, but those three teams are mid-table and they've been great at home. Surely all three of them can't stay up. Maybe one of them goes down. And do I pick at random here? This is difficult. I think maybe injuries could catch up to Oxford United. 4 games without a win at the moment. Oh, this is really, really brutal. But I will go with Oxford. And I don't want to. But I just think Plymouth have been pretty impressive as well. I mean, Oxford have been impressive. I'm not denying that. They have been impressive. But maybe they drop. Maybe over 46 games they might slowly move down the table. I don't know. It's difficult, this. Let's move to the top of the Championship. Now, when I was doing my notes before this video, there were 6 teams I had in mind. Possibly 7, possibly 8. The 2 that are the strongest candidates for me are Sheffield United. So let's get them up there, because I do think Sheffield United look like they could go up this season. And I also think I'm going to stick with Leeds. Leeds are a bit unpredictable, I guess. You can predict them on the whole to be good, but they are a little bit crash bang wallop, and they throw some surprising moments and results in there that make you question them, but on the whole, they've got the quality, they've got the experienced manager, and they got 90 points last season. They've started this season better than last season, so that gives them a better platform to push on. I think it could be them. So the other teams I'm considering are Norwich, who have been great, Burnley, who I am leaning towards, Sunderland, who are top, and West Brom. I also think Middlesbrough. But let's not forget, this is the Championship. Anyone that sneaks into the top 6 could go up. Could it be Watford? Could it still be Luton or Coventry? I don't think Coventry. Right now, I don't. Let's get them out of the way. Right now, I'd rather not have any expectations to go up. No, let's not talk Coventry. So who's it going to be? I think it could be Burnley. Is that boring and predictable? Probably. I want to shake things up. I want to say Sunderland. I also think I could say West Bromwich Albion. Those two look good. I like Labrie. I like Corberan. But I'm going to go with Burnley. I know Burnley have not even been amazing this season, and I know they're third, don't shoot me. What I'm saying by that is I think they've got the potential to be better. I think they're going to show through the 46-game season the qualities of a relegated Premier League team. And they've got Scott Parker. He's been promoted with Bournemouth and with Fulham, and I think he's going to take Burnley up. So that's what I'm going with. It looks a bit painfully predictable, but I'm going with Sheffield United, Leeds and Burnley. So, yeah, I would love to just chuck some teams that have not been in the Premier League for a long time in there, but let's be honest, this is the way it goes sometimes in the Championship. Let's move on to the final thing, which is what 3 teams are going to be relegated from the Premier League. And this is really, really tough. Really tough. So, there's one team that comes to my head straight away, and I'm sorry, because they can play some good football, but that's Southampton. I just think they look a little bit naive. I think they've got moments in them. I think they've got goals in them. I think they've got quality. And I think they can play some good football, but is it going to work? It's not working so far. I'm going to go with Southampton. So, what next? This is really tricky. I suppose it would be predictable to put Ipswich and Leicester both down there, but I think there's a good chance one of them could get out. I also think it's possible they could both stay up. I'm going to go with Wolves. I've been really worried for Wolves recently. Now, yes, they've definitely got the quality to stay up. So far, I think this is the one prediction that I think could really backfire. And I don't want Wolves to go down. Let me just say that on record. But they've started slow. And at this moment in time, they've got Manchester City next and then Brighton away. There is the potential they change the manager. Have we seen enough good signs from them so far? I think yes, in terms of goal scoring. But defensively, I am worried, really worried. And then that leaves me with one final team to be relegated. So the usual suspects are going to be Everton and the newly promoted teams like Ipswich and Leicester. Now, Ipswich haven't won yet, but they've been pretty good. Everton have had a couple of decent results, and they just don't go down, do they? And I tell you what, I'm going to back Leicester to stay up as well. So, call me crazy, this is a big one. Crystal Palace. They've not been great so far. Yes, they've got the potential. Yes, they've got the quality to stay up easily and still finish mid-table. But they've started so slow. They've not won yet, and Elise is looking a big miss. Now, yes, they've got Mark Gay. Yes, they've got Mateta. Yes, they've got Eze. I don't think they will go down. But I'm going to go for it. I'm going to have one crazy prediction. I suppose there's a few crazy predictions here, but Palace is my big call here, and that is what I'm going with. Guys, get your thoughts down below, because they are the teams I'm locking in. They're the teams I think that will be promoted and relegated from the Premier League down to the National League this season. So then guys, that wraps up today's video. As I say, this was very difficult to do, and I'm sure not all of them will come true. Hopefully at least half of them will come true, but it is very difficult to do this, knowing that you have to use logic when doing this, but also bear in mind that there probably will be 1 or 2 surprises along the way. So that's what I'm going with. Once again, yes, if I put your team to be relegated, it doesn't mean I hate them. I am sorry. And if I backed your team to not be promoted, I'm very sorry as well. But share your thoughts down in the comments, guys. Like I say, this is just a bit of fun. Let me know if you agree or disagree respectfully down in the comments, guys. Please be sure to drop a like. We're going for 2,000 likes on this video, and make sure to subscribe as well to help this channel get to 79,000 subscribers next. Your support is always amazing. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Peace out.